Welcome to the Life Curation Podcast. I'm your host, Andrina Tisi. Together, we will explore thoughts, inspirations, and conversations that feed our soul, spark the mind, and nourish the body. Thank you so much for being here to learn and grow, and for walking this journey called life with me. Welcome. Super nice that you're here in the Life Creation Podcast. And today marks the spring equinox. So, like I did on the fall and winter turning point, today I will guide you through a meditation into the spring. And before we get started, what is spring equinox? So it's when the sun sits exactly over the Earth equator and she passes through the so-called celestial line. And today both hemispheres share the sun rays equally. So if we imagine that, it's a quite cool image. I just have this sun image and the rays really just shine down on the earth. And it's also when the day and the night are about the same length. And I'm sure you have been watching nature and noticing how she's waking up. And in addition to the spring equinox, it's also the astrological new year. So we're moving into a new year. Pisces finished off the year, and we're moving into Aries and into the new year astrologically. So if we watch nature, we see how the birds are migrating north. We hear them a little bit more intensely singing because they're inspired by the sun. And then in return, they inspire us. Of course, the sun also inspires us. But the little buds come out and maybe some flowers already blossom. So we see that in nature, and then we can see where the spring within us is starting to unfold. We're moving from the quiet, the more introspective energy to more outward, to more engaged, to feeling more energetic and a more creativity or more creative energy wants to come out. And whatever that means for you. And also we know this thing called Frühlingsmüdigkeit. So when you feel tired, maybe you've been sick or energetically not so in your super duper balance as you wish for. And that's also transition time. So if we think about nature again, and if we think about a seed that is underneath the earth and protected and in its comfortable spot, and then it's starting to not have that much space and it starts to grow, and it grows through the soil towards the light, and it starts to show itself. That process is not necessarily comfortable, it's not necessarily easy, but it's a natural occurrence. So if we look at that, we maybe understand a certain limiting beliefs or certain blocks or certain things that not feel as smooth or as easy as we imagined it to be. Because there is transition, there is growth, something doesn't fit, we need more space, it needs to go into a different direction, and then we need to test it out. It also takes courage, right? I need to show myself, like the flower wants to open up, wants to blossom. Well, what if the next snow comes, right? And then, of course, there's this balance of giving it a try, and not just hiding underneath the soil, underneath the blanket, but testing it out. And the good thing is you've done it before. So we know spring is amazing, and it does have this rebirthing, this growing energy. So I would like you to find a nice seat. You can also lie on the floor. If you're driving, as usual, stop and pause and do it later on. You can find also a chair. And with all the meditations on this podcast, they have themes. They are released to a certain time at a certain date, but you can do it anytime. You can do multiple times, because spring happens every day. Spring happens every month, right? It happens every year. It happens within a lifetime. So, just on that note, feel free to do any of the meditations anytime, and not feeling that you can't because it's the spring equinox meditation and now it's September. That's fine. So, that just as a side note. So yeah, find a comfortable seat. Maybe place a cushion underneath you. If you're lying on the floor, maybe place a cushion underneath your head to support your neck. You can also cover your knees with a blanket or your whole body. If you're sitting on a chair, make sure your feet are touching the floor. So place something underneath your feet so that they're not dangling, or that you're not just touching them with your toes or you at the floor, so that they're really supported. You can do that with a blanket, with cushions. You could even use books. Make sure it's even. And then if you're comfortable, close your eyes. And just noticing how the breath is moving in and moving out. And let that for a moment just happen. And just notice it, the ebb and the flow of the breath. Maybe you notice how the breath feels. Maybe you notice where in your body you notice the breath a little bit more. And anytime you notice that you need to shift something in your seat, in your position, please do that. And then dropping a little bit deeper with your awareness towards your seat, towards the bottom of your spine, your perineum, your first chakra. And feeling the connection there to the ground. Feel the pull and the connection. Really notice that place of security, the place of belonging. And that's our root, right? Like the seed is starting to grow down first. It's starting to grow roots, to take in the nutrients so that it can grow up. And just notice that within you. Feeling how that spot on the bottom of the spine feels for you. How the topic of security and safety echoes within you. If maybe something gets stirred up for you, just notice that. And from there, feeling the energy a little bit higher up into your pelvic floor. The reproductive organs. And maybe you even visualize your hip bowl. And it's a vessel, the vessel for creativity. The vessel for life, for birth, for creation. It can also be a place of vulnerability. Can be a place of intimacy. Into me, I see. And just see what is coming up for you when you get in touch with that area in your body and the energetics of that area. And then moving with your attention and your focus a little bit higher up into your belly, and I invite you to soften your belly. The belly area, the digestive system where we physically digest. And not to underestimate that we also digest mentally and emotionally in our physical digestive system. We can think of many different sayings that reflect that as well. The belly is also our center point. From our belly we root down into our lower centers and we can lift up. The navel point, where we are connected to our ancestral line. possibly you see now from the bottom of your spine, in the depth of the darkness, the introspection, something that is growing up your spine. Maybe you see a seed that is growing roots down or has already. And maybe that seed is sprouting and starting to have the courage to open itself up and start to grow up. It's growing up through your pelvic floor into the belly, getting the rays of the sun within you from the solar plexus. And just notice how the rays of the solar plexus are very gently caressing the very tender leaves, maybe the buds of that seedling. The sun is not too strong yet. It gives it life and energy, and also hope and faith and confirmation that yes, I'm here. I'm giving you the light that you need to grow. At the same time, the roots are getting stronger, rooting down. Maybe the stem is getting a little bit thicker and juicier. The strength and the resilience is growing. And just visualize that seedling, that maybe it's a tree, maybe it's a flower, maybe it's an imaginary natural being. And see it within you and noticing the growth that is naturally happening, the waking up, the rebirthing. And if you like, you can also place your hands over your belly button and over your solar plexus. To give whatever wants to grow within you comfort and confirmation. And tuning in and noticing and trusting whatever pops up for you is coming from deep within you and a deeper knowing. What is it that wants to grow within you and in your life? Where is it that growth wants to happen? what wants to blossom and show itself. And in that, what is holding you or the growth or the transformation back? What is birthing within you? And what seeds have you planted over the last 6 months that are now ready to show themselves? And what do those seeds need? How do you need to nourish them? Is it something within you? Is it a project? Is it a sensation, a feeling that you want to foster? What is it? And what does it need to have the courage to show itself even more? What do you need to show yourself more in all that you are? What do you need to grow and bloom? And leaving your hands on your belly and on your solar plexus for a little bit longer, and a little bit more consciously allowing the breath to move in and out, maybe taking a little bit of a deeper inhale and a fuller exhale. Maybe move your head a little bit from one side to the other. You can move your toes and your feet. You can move your fingers and your hands, your wrists and your ankles. And then reach the arms up overhead and give yourself a really nice and long stretch. Maybe also move the arms from one side to the other. And then when you're ready, you can open the eyes and look around and just reorient yourself where you are, noticing the room you're in. And then grab a pen and a paper, maybe your journal, and write down what came up for you. Maybe there's images, maybe there's colors. Maybe you even smelled something. Noticing what feelings came up, what thoughts. What physical sensations, and especially whatever you remember from the questions I asked, and trusting that whatever is still in your conscious mind that wants to come onto the paper will come onto the paper, but not forcing it, just allowing it to flow, however, giving it time to come out. So give yourself at least 5 minutes, maybe 10. Wishing you a wonderful spring equinox and allow yourself to blossom. Much love.